Well, these latest problems at the prison aren't anything new. They actually date back decades. In fact, in the 1980s and early 90s, inmates rioted because of what they called back then poor living conditions. In 1980, over 300 inmates took over a cell block at the penitentiary, refusing to return to their cells. They weren't happy with their living conditions. KELOLAND's Steve Hemmingson and photographer Dexter Gronseth were invited inside to listen to their demands.
The object of the rebellion was to draw attention to a list of 24 grievances, ranging from food to medical care to sanitary conditions and lockup time, the amount of time they spend in their cells each day.
Gronseth says he remembers it being somewhat chaotic and unnerving as prisoners pumped their fists and yelled at the camera.
I remember the big door ready to go into what was then called Federal Hall, I believe. And we looked back at the warden and asked if there were any guards coming with us. They said, no, you two are on your own.
Thankfully, everything turned out all right, and the prison returned to normal operations. But 13 years later, another prison riot broke out involving more than 200 inmates. They started fires and vandalized the prison in other ways. KELOLAND News was asked once again to come back inside prison walls, but this time as witnesses.
And then we had to shoot each individual inmate coming in to make sure they weren't abused or hit or anything, to make sure everybody came in safe.
One by one, the inmates were brought into a certain area of the prison and placed face down on the floor to be searched. They handed over any belongings they had on them and then were handcuffed and escorted back to their prison cells one by one with guards on each arm. Several inmates were charged with attacking prison guards, but no one was charged with vandalizing the prison.
We just flat don't have any evidence. We know that lots of destruction was done, but it was done at a time when the staff was, and with good cause, retreating from the yard. Rather than worrying about evidence, they were worrying about getting out alive with their skins on.
And some of the inmates who were involved in the 1993 prison riot were transferred to other facilities, including some that were out of state.